You're in for a real treat now. We're about to bring out two legends, one from the world of entertainment and one from the entire world. I want you all to stand up and welcome to the stage international award-winning actor, producer, and comedian Chris Tucker, and the iconic deputy of Dr. King, UN ambassador, and former mayor of Atlanta, Ambassador Andrew Young, and of course, John Hope Bryant.
Come on now, give him some love.
You push over.
Give him some love now. I'm not paying him, see, I give him some love. I'm not giving him no money.
I'm glad you told me to sit here, Ambassador Young, because I got on white socks. I don't want nobody to see my socks.
At least you got on
Stop,
socks.
man, I don't want him to see it.
But let me just say, this is wonderful.
But Chris,
no. This is wonderful.
No, hold on.
We got to start with, when they talked about Gee's Bend, you know that's where the march from Selma to Montgomery started?
Is it?
Gee's Bend, Alabama, the same women that have been making quilts in slavery. See, it was their families that showed up like us. They showed up in Selma on the wrong day. And that's why Dr. King wasn't there. Dr. King was back in his church on that Bloody Sunday because we had scheduled it for the next Sunday. But it got confused, and we went on and did it anyway. And so I just want to thank you for connecting all that is going on today with these women who've been making quilts for at least 100 years. And you really, you know, that's why I've been trying to tell him, get him to see, he ain't this smart.
He ain't this smart.
You know, but the Lord can make a way out of no way.
Nowhere.
And
he used to be Jamie Foxx stand-in.
Well,
I'm so proud of you now.
And you used to come in after Chris Rock.
I will tell you, we were in Davos, a conference, like the biggest conference in the world, in the snow, arguing, fussing. He was calling me Chris Rock, and I was calling him Jamie Foxx. We almost got the blows. I said, I don't care where we at, man. Don't call me no Chris Rock no more. This is my buddy, though.
Then I went to go get on Delta, and he got on his private jet, and that was the end of the conversation.
That wasn't my jet. See, then I'm gonna teach you financial smartness. Get a friend with a jet, a friend with a yacht, a friend with an extra, extra part of his house you can stay in. You ain't gotta get no house. Not this day and time. You're gonna learn something today. A guest house.
But here's the thing, I've learned a whole lot. Now, I need to find that lady that had them zip-up pants for folks.
Look, I'm just glad they worked. I was really concerned.
I don't know, but I came close because I was sitting here I've been sitting here since about 7 o'clock and listening to all of this, and I was drinking water. And then all of a sudden it hit me. And I got on my scooter and I ran around. I just barely made it. But if I'd had them 2 zippers going down there. No, I'm telling you, this is very, very practical. And all of y'all gonna get old. If you're lucky.
Oh my God.
If you're lucky and get your shots, keep your mask on, you'll be around for a long time.
That's right.
Because that artificial intelligence he talked about?
Sam Altman, yeah.
Yeah, I saw them, I read about them. They can put this artificial intelligence and nanotechnology. And so they can get a little something and they can put it in your vein, and the automatic technology or the auto technology will run that little thing up your veins into your heart, and they won't have to cut you open to do fix your heart. They get a little nanotechnology thing, and it'll crawl up, do what it's got to do, and then crawl right back out. And that's who you had up here.
Yeah.
People talking about where we are going
Yeah.
and what we have to do to get there. And how'd you figure out it? Oh, you come from
All the way from
Compton.
Compton.
You come from Compton and you this smart? But I know your secret. I've been backstage with your mama and your mother-in-law and your wife. And you have had sense enough to surround yourself or to be surrounded
That's right.
by brilliant, beautiful women.
That's the truth.
Amen.
See?
Look at my mother clapping.
And John, do they know you was a dancer on Soul Train?
What is this, like a roast?
No, it's the truth. I didn't know it for 10 years.
No,
He
you've
just
been-
told me last week. No,
Yeah.
tell him about it. Tell him about it. That was-
Tell you about it. Let me show
Oh,
you.
a great dancer. Look at it. Wow! Whoa! You okay? Call the ambulance. I think he broke something.
No, don't drink water now. It'll come out right out. I mean, that's supposed to strain on your groin, and you had a long
I
time.
don't know. No man that could do that. That was incredible. No, that was great, man. No,
What else you got to say?
We just messing with you. No, we just messing with you. Now it's your turn now.
So, first of all, in all seriousness, it's wonderful that we're talking about AI and the future.
T.I.? You talking about T.I.?
With T-
Is he?
Woo!
All right.
I'm gonna have to dumb this conversation down a little bit.
Oh, wait a minute now. I went to Columbia High School.
By the way, on a serious note, Chris Tucker is one of the smartest. I mean, he's funny, all that stuff. But on a serious note, when I went to Africa, there was Chris with President Clinton. When I went to Switzerland, one of 5 black people at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, every year, sitting there taking it all in for 10 years straight. Chris Tucker. This dude he really don't sleep on how smart this guy is. He's much more than a brilliant comedian and a brilliant actor.
Thank you.
So on a serious note.
I'll pay you tomorrow. I'll pay
Yeah.
you.
But you
Give me
know,
a bracelet.
comedy,
Look,
comedy makes the world go round.
Well,
That's right.
comedy makes the world go round.
It does. It really
So before we get into this interactive conversation and before Ambassador Young takes it wherever he wants to take it, I think it 2 things. One, it put chills down my spine to be talking about the future and AI and all this in the same ballroom where you and Dr. King talked about the future of eradicating poverty with the Poor People's Campaign before he was assassinated. And I often ask you, Ambassador Young, why are you up so late all night? Carolyn Young, who's here, makes sure that you're taken care of, and she loves you into health every day. But I often worry, why are you running yourself so hard? Why do you give all your money away to others? And allow me to say this, because he's on that balcony when Dr. King was assassinated. I think it was April 4th, 1968. And when I asked him about giving away his money, Chris, he'll say it's not my money.
That's why I ain't got none.
But he would say, well, I'm here because my friend was assassinated. Because, by the way, the FBI report on the shooter was, if you miss the dreamer, kill the strategist. So he's known this in the back of his mind his whole life, that I'm mayor because my friend got shot. I'm UN ambassador because my friend got shot. I'm mayor of the city, I'm head of the Olympic Games because my friend got shot. I got this board position because my friend got shot. In other words, if he didn't get shot, he would have got shot, and he wouldn't be here. So he says, it's not mine, I'm just a trustee. I'm just giving it away, and I want to help as many people as I can, as long as I can. Do you know this man has 130 honorary doctorate degrees?
Wow.
130. This is the closest. Nelson Mandela's grandson is here. Zonwan Mandela, he's on our board. He's here. Came in for Africa. He didn't come here for me. He came here for him. This is the closest you'll get to Nelson Mandela in the world. and he's right here in front of you.
But let me just.
No, stop. Yeah. Hold on. You're gonna take it over in a minute.
I want to tell you what happened that night.
Oh, okay.
When we were here.
All right.
Because Aretha Franklin was singing.
Here.
Yeah, supposed to be singing, but something happened with her and one of her boyfriends, and she was saying she was not gonna sing. And who arose but Martin Luther King, the comedian.
Wow.
And they came together. Dr. King, you got to come up and talk to Ree. She's talking about, and he went up to the room and said, Ree, baby, now you can't be thinking about jumping down this hotel and messing up these white folks' lobby. They just let us in here. He said, come on now. We've been fighting all along to get in here, and you gonna cry your way. Come on, get it together. And she was really depressed, but that brought her out of it. And what she did was she picked up an ashtray and threw it at him, and fortunately he ducked. But that broke her depression.
Yeah.
And he said, you better come on down here and sing, baby. Everybody's here to see you. And she sang from about 8 o'clock to about 11 o'clock.
Wow.
And guess who was waiting to be the main speaker? Sidney Poitier.
Wow.
And so Sidney Poitier gets up at 11 o'clock, and he said, I don't care how long you all made me wait, I was not leaving here. He said, because the last time I was here, I was in the bus station. I was a barefoot boy that had picked strawberries and tomatoes and everything from Miami all the way up the road to Atlanta. And we were supposed to get paid and then get the bus to go back to Miami and then come back up and pick peaches the next time. He said, and I sat there and I said, but I want to go to New York because I'm going to be an actor. And he said, I couldn't talk. I had a speech impediment. I didn't have any decent clothes. I had the clothes I've been picking beans with all the way up. He said, and I sat there and I went to sleep. And he said, I woke up when somebody said, bus for New York. He said, and without thinking, I jumped up and got on that bus. And he said, somebody told him that they needed a janitor at Actors Studio. And he went there as the janitor, and he met Marlon Brando and Harry Belafonte and all of that group of actors that we all came to know, and he was the janitor. But he said they took an interest in him. And at first they just let him do walk-on parts and things, but he said that he would sit in front of the television set and try to speak like the announcer, because he had to get rid of his speech impediment because he was determined to be an actor.
Sidney Poitier.
Sidney Poitier.
Wow.
Started here as a raggedy boy from Cat Island in the Bahamas. So you all in a place of destiny.
You know, when T.I., who's graced this stage with us, and he's supportive of what we're doing, when he's around Ambassador Young, he gets serious. You don't. But no.
Well, I'm going to tell you why, because Ambassador Young is funnier than me. He's just a comedian, just like
that's actually true.
I mean, he keeps me laughing. He actually told me that we're coming out here, we're gonna rag on you. And I said, good, I've been wanting to say this stuff in public the whole time. So he gave me free range. You know, I wouldn't have said that. I'm too scared.
Yeah, you ain't scared of nothing. That's one thing.
But this is one of my good friends, one of my buddies, one of the smartest guys I know. He's talking about me, and that's one thing I do. I don't know much, but I know to hang around smart people, and John Bryan is a smart brother, good brother, Do anything for you. Every time you talk to him, can I do anything for you, brother? That's the first thing he say. Can I do something for you? And just a good-hearted guy, and I see why you're so successful.
You can get me some stock in that lady that got them long drawers.
That's right, John. Let's come out of this thing with some money. Help a brother out.
And I ain't playing the dozens with you, but I was sitting with your mama, and she was sitting. Because she's almost as old as me. How old is your mama?
Huh?
How old is your mama? Huh?
87.
Well, see, I'm 89, so she had to look up to me. But together, we all, and all of y'all are going to soon know what it's like to wet your pants. So you better get with your sister and invest in it, because that's one thing. Peeing on yourself is universal.
Oh my God! The North American Nelson Mandela. When I have, I'm trying to return this to some level of seriousness.
Why you gotta be so serious?
Well, why not? So, Chris,
They're going to remember what I say.
That's right.
You get serious, they won't remember.
won't
Go
remember.
ahead.
that's true.
Keep up the flow.
Keep it going.
I'm with you.
Don't slow us down.
But I do want to get at least a minute of seriousness here before we wrap.
It's serious.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
Yeah.
And get you off of me. No, so when I talk to you, Chris, and Ambassador Young late at night, what people don't know, and it's just like talking, Tommy Dortch is here somewhere, chairman of 100 Black Men. It's like my conversation with him. It's never about themselves. Huh?
Nothing. He owed me $10.
Yeah, he owes me 20. But he's never talking about himself. You're never talking about yourself. He's never talking about himself. And people may not realize this about you. You're always talking about, in your private moments, things that matter. And to your point, what you said about me, the only time Chris has ever asked me for something is for money for his foundation to help those less unfortunate. And he comes here, again, for free. He gave his time tonight. It's not like he's not busy. He gave his time tonight. He's done this several times. He's always saying yes for the right cause. And again, digging in his pocket and asking his friends to support his foundation for a golf tournament, which you use for your foundation. Why do you care so much, Chris? What's this in your bones? We understand Ambassador Young's story.
Yeah.
What is it that causes you to care so much, and why are you so serious about business as a mechanism for social justice?
Well, I'll tell you, today life is a mystery, man. Today I was looking at pictures. I took a lot of great trips to Africa early in my career, and one of them was with Colin Powell, and a lot of them was with Ambassador Young. I was looking at these pictures today. I've been to Tanzania. Ambassador Young took me to Nigeria, Lagos, Abuja, Ethiopia. He's taken me all over the world, and I've been blessed to take these great trips. And one of them was with Colin Powell, because I was looking for those pictures, and I found all these other pictures. Yeah. And I said, oh man, I got to remind Ambassador Young, tell him, how much I appreciate it. All these great opportunities that God blessed me with great men like Ambassador Young, just say, come on, tag along with me. And, I learned a lot. It broadened my perspective, because my whole thing was just be the biggest comedian in the world, biggest actor in the world, get $20 million, and you good. But I did that at an early age, and I was like, is this it? This is kind of boring. And I started taking these trips, and I started seeing how blessed we were in America, and I started seeing how less fortunate some other people were in other countries with their water supply being ruined because an animal died in Ethiopia or Tanzania. And I was like, man, there's more to the world than just acting or being whatever. So it really shook me, man. It just brought I knew it was other things more important than making a lot of money. So my mom said, you do all these trips, you've done all these trips, why don't you start a foundation and do what you want to do too to help people? So I started a Chris Tucker Foundation because my mom said, start a foundation, because she saw what my heart was, traveling all over the world, Africa and all these different places, 14 different countries in Africa. And man, best thing I ever done in my life was begging rich people for money, because the reward, when you see the things today, yesterday I gave $10,000 to a lady who has houses for sex trafficking, girls has been sex trafficked, and I gave $10,000 so they can build another house, because all year I've been asking my friends, raising money, and it feels so good to be able to do that. and to help people. And then I'll see something on the news. I flew a woman from Jamaica who was in a bad car accident. Her husband, her boyfriend died. She didn't know it. But her kids, and I was on the road on tour, her kids, it was all on the news in Rochester, New York somewhere. And I said, called my sister and told her, find out this news channel, call them, I want to fly her home. We got a plane because God blessed me to be able to raise money from friends and from Coca-Cola gives money, everybody, Delta gives money. And I was able to get her home, you know, on a private jet back to her family because I got a foundation. I recommend everybody starts a foundation. It's the greatest feeling in the world to be able to help somebody and just don't even think about it. And then everybody who gives, I tell my friends, you blessed. You're blessed because you gave yesterday too.
I did?
You know, yeah, that was part of your money that you gave me for the foundation. And that's what I tell my friends, and I love saying that, man, God's gonna bless you. He's like, what, why? Man, I just gave $10,000 over here and gave $10,000 or $20,000 or whatever. But I learned a lot of that from Ambassador Young, my other daddy, because he's done so much, you know, in the world. And
yeah, but you got to be honest. Your mom was a preacher.
Yes, that's true. That's true. My mother's a missionary, Mary Tucker.
That's right. And,
Church of God in Christ.
And she raised you on your knees.
That's right. Praying.
That's right. And if you didn't get on your knees, she went across your behind.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You pray still, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I pray every day. I pray an hour a day when I'm
right.
not rushing out of the house. I got a prayer closet built in my mama's house. I get on my knees before I do anything because I don't want to make no mistakes. I said, God, I'm going to pray to you first and you'll guide me. And that's how I found all these great pictures. That all these trips I took over the years, you haven't seen me a lot in the movies, but I've done some great things. I'm like the black James Bond. Y'all don't even know it. But like we talk about Davos, but being able to, they can, you know, I can never forget, they can never take these trips I've had with Ambassador Young. I always have that in my heart, in my memories with such a great man. It's just God has just blessed me. But we got more movies coming, more stuff coming. I'm gonna take it over again. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. You don't lose it. You just keep it.
I was talking to Chris one day, and I said, you have a great home. And he said, I'm homeless, actually. I said, well, what do you mean you have this beautiful mansion that's dang near half a block? What do you mean you're homeless? He said, no, I'm homeless. I live with my mama.
That's
my
mama's house, yeah.
What are you talking about? You live with your mama. You're a multi-millionaire, global, entertainer, global movie star, global, you're even smart. I have to admit it, you're even smart. And what do you mean you're homeless? Because I bought my mama that house, and I stay in it. Yeah. That's how beautiful this guy's spirit is.
Thank you.
Is that's his, even though he built it and it was his money and his riches, he basically said, I would be nothing if not for my mother. So that's her house. And she lets me stay there. And every Sunday, where's he at? At church with his mother, if he's not on the road. These are the stories you don't hear about people, about who they really are.
Well, but if it's not your mama, it's your grandmama.
Yeah.
And if it's not your grandmama, it's your wife.
Yeah.
And if it's not your wife, it's your sister. But women make the world go round.
That's true. That's true.
So, Carolyn Young, Carolyn is a great backbone for Ambassador Young.
Give it up for Mrs. Young.
Yes.
Mrs. Young.
And she's also really, really, really funny. You think Ambassador Young's funny. She's really funny. And I can't tell her jokes in public. So you just have to trust me that she's really funny and a really good person. She won't mind me telling this story because she has nothing but love for every part of Ambassador Young's life. But you guys we got to end this with you knowing something about Ambassador Young that he's not in control of, because he's in control of everything. He's a UN ambassador, appointed, minted, first black UN ambassador in the history of the United States of America. They go to a little town in the South where his late wife, Jean Childs Young, who's passed on to glory, is from her town. And they're in the town, and they're on this car with the open top. And Ambassador Young is a celebrity, so he's waving, and he's waving, and he's waving. And finally, Jean Child turns and points. Well, Andy, see that man over there? He was my boyfriend growing up. And Ambassador Young said, what, that bum over there? He's clearly not done very well for himself. He's a bum. And see, Gene, see who you could have married? And Gene said, Andy, if I'd married that man, he'd be UN ambassador for the United States of America.
That ain't funny. But then she really trained me and wore me out for 40 years. And then she found Carolyn and turned me over to Carolyn. And she's been beating up on me for the last 25 years. And her mama came to live with us, and she was there. And now we got a crazy old dog that wants to put me out of my bed. But that's all right. That's all right. I'm going to make it.
Love is work.
I never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread.
That's right.
Have you guys enjoyed today? First time, we're out of time. We've exceeded the clock. This is the first time all of us been out in 2 years. So we having a bit of a love party here. Well, I'm going to keep a promise that pastors know well. Be good, be quick, and then be gone. So we're about to let you go because you never want to be the old guy in the club. We're going to let you go home. And I'm going to let Ambassador Young close us out as only he knows how. And Chris, why don't you say your final words, and we'll turn it over to him. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this return, this beginning of the return to some normalcy in our lives. Over the rounder to it, we're going to get through it. Not even, as my wife would call it, an invisible monster like COVID is going to keep us down. We are going to rise again and meet the moment.
Yep.
Chris?
I just thank you guys for having this here, John. Thank you for having this conference here. It's so important. Like I told you, I go to a lot of them. I go to Mike Milken's conference. Went to Clinton's conference in Davos. That's where you learn the best stuff. You meet the great people. So you guys take advantage of this. And thank you, man. God bless you. You're in hands, in good hands, good hands.
Love you, man.
But you know, before we close, let's give thanks to General Colin Powell.
Yeah.
Yes.
And let's thank the Lord.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
For raising him up in the Bronx from Jamaican parents and helping him to get through City College in New York. And he came down here as a lieutenant in Fort Benning, Georgia. But then he spent 2 terms in Vietnam. Not as a general, but he won the Purple Heart twice. And that's because he got wounded. And so one of the reasons why his body was not able to struggle with this virus is the sacrifice of his body for most of his 84 years in the service of this nation. And he was a warrior that made war to create peace. And he did it. And he continued doing it. And he's one of 3 people that I have admired all my life, practically. And first was Ralph Bunche, who we don't know much about, but Ralph Bunche gave us the United Nations. It came out of his brain. And he was a boy so poor when he got to Los Angeles that he couldn't ride. He wouldn't waste a nickel on the streetcar. He ran down with his grandmama to get into school, a public school in Los Angeles, and became the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, and really wrote most of the stuff that helps keep the world together today. And of course, you know Martin Luther King. And I was sitting there with him on the veranda, and the shot rang out, and it was obvious that he didn't even hear it. It cut through the tip of his chin and severed his spinal cord. So his body probably felt no pain. But my reaction was, damn, you can't go to heaven and leave us in hell. You can't do that. And I realize now, 58 years later, that he really didn't. He's still with us. And we are here where he was 50, 60 years ago. And we're carrying on that work, and it's no accident that G's Ben and Etsy are still with us, still feeding the hungry, clothing the naked, healing the sick, and setting at liberty those who are oppressed. And God has blessed us with the ability to keep on keeping on. So take your blessings and go home and get down on your knees and thank God for them. And then wake up in the morning and keep on spreading them all over this planet.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And go Braves, go Braves. Braves won tonight. 3-0, baby.
On behalf of Ambassador Young and Carolyn Young and myself and Shatra Dalton Bryant and even Chris Tucker, have a good evening. The night
we love you. Thank you.